Why is Melanie's sister chasing clout, calling Caleb a future brother in law, and all these things when he lied on Aftersun? Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. So, today we are talking Love Island USA Season 8. I can't help but say every season, you guys, every single season of this show, I always try to give the advice, you know what I'm saying, to the family, to the friends, to the exes. Do not come to social media, right? Now see, old school, like season 1, season 2, season 3, you know what I'm saying? People would keep the tea in the vault. You know what I'm saying? They would go to a trusted individual, trusted blog, trusted group of fans, or whatever the case may be. And then if and when said relationship, said couple broke up, or whatever the case may be, then the spot would get blown up. You know what I'm saying? Then the spot would get blown up. But what has happened now with the popularity and the success, really since Love Island USA Season 6, has opened the door, has opened the floodgates for everybody wanting followers, everybody wanting clout, everybody wanting a piece of the pie, everybody wanting a piece of the fame and all the things. As you know, late last night I did a video about Caleb's Aftersun appearance. And I talked about the fact that he spent a lot of time talking about the Anaya and KC of it all. And I was of confusion because we've seen on plenty of occasions where KC has presented a different version of events to the men versus what he has presented to Anaya, right? And what was concerning to me also was, you know, they're trying to do this new thing where the Islanders immediately get their phones back before they go to Aftersun, which I feel is a mistake. I feel is a mistake because what is going to happen now is they're going to go on a press run based off of what is going viral for them. So what is currently going viral for Caleb are these crack ships. And I can't stress enough. Y'all gotta stop this with the crack ships. Y'all gotta stop this with the crack ships. Because what's going to happen is these Islanders are going to start to take it seriously and play in y'all faces for money, clout, and fame and attention. Here's Jaden. She switched up too, because it was clear as day she did not like Caleb on the show if you were going to ignore him after Casa Amor. But after she saw her friends saying, give Caleb a chance, he's a good guy, she's up here telling him right there live on Aftersun, yeah, you're going to be my +1 at my friend's engagement party. You know what I'm saying? We're going to continue dating, all this and that. And then Caleb all of a sudden is like, well, we haven't really had those conversations yet. No. Even Sean, who is alleging that he and Anaya had all these conversations, however, she ultimately chose KC at the week 1 recoupling, or whatever the case may be, right? Even Sean said that he is not going to cross the line with Anaya because KC is his boy, even if things do not work out. Why is Caleb talking on Aftersun as if there was a chance for him and Melanie to become a thing and all of this and all of that, and he has these regrets that he didn't explore her? You're saying all of this because there is a viral tickety talk that I believe has over 1 million views of an edit of you and Melanie. If you wanted to, you would have in the villa. The only other person you tried to holla at for real, Caleb, was Kata. And that was after everything blew up in smoke with you and Kenzie. Because your preference is blondes. You love the blondes. And after that whole thing fumbled with Persian Cat at Casa Amor, who did you go to? Who did you talk to? You went to the blonde Jaden. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand why we are doing this nonsense, and I don't understand why the sister is entertaining this when Melanie wants to be with Sincere. Like that's the whole thing of it. Your sister wants to be with Sincere. Your sister wants to be with Sincere. Caleb is sitting up here lying on the Aftersun interview talking about that he, you know what I'm saying, was giving all this advice to Sincere about Melanie, and he couldn't cross that line because he felt like he would be two-faced trying to go behind Sincere's back and talk to Melanie on the side. I'm just not buying any of this. And y'all are doing this because y'all made Caleb look like the angel, make him look like he was done so wrong. You know what I'm saying? And yes, he was done wrong by Kenzie, but it sounded like there was more to meet the eye between the issues of him and Jaden. But I have zero respect for these Islanders that are coming out of the villa and trying to flip and reverse what really happened in the villa, because they're saying which Islanders are getting love and which Islanders are getting hate, and y'all are treating Melanie like she is a helpless victim that has no idea what's happening. I told y'all the Melanie and Sincere storyline is Selly and Johnny 2.0 in 2026 from Love Island USA Season 2. Where Johnny kept playing in Selly's face, kept kissing other women as long as there was a camera in front of him, and ultimately would go back to Selly when it was all said and done to try to win the show, and they became runner-up. Spoiler alert. If Melanie wanted to choose herself, she would have left the show. She would have self-evicted. She would have said, this is too much for me, I'm done. The other Islanders are fully aware that Melanie has no other connections in that villa. And then you guys are trying to push another crack ship of Melanie and Corbin. And again, if Corbin wanted to be with Melanie, he would have. He wanted Kenzie. He wanted the Persian cat instead. Now, all of a sudden, he is so disappointed and Sincere, as if he was not at Casa Amor with Sincere. You know what I mean? Y'all were all at Casa Amor with Sincere. Y'all were all there to witness Sincere kissing Amora up and down and in through here. And what I don't understand is why y'all are not holding Sincere accountable. Sol and Amora have come out this villa talking about they forgive Sincere and their smoke is with Melanie. No. And what type of sister is pushing her with somebody else when we do not even know what the outcome is going to be with the Sincere and Melanie of it all on this show? I don't understand what y'all are doing out here. You may not like your sister with Sincere, but here's what's going to happen, right? Because some of y'all are acting like y'all don't remember how y'all were in y'all 20s, whether it was a relative or it was a family member or it was you, right? Or it was a friend or a colleague that you saw in your 20s that was in a toxic relationship, that was in a dysfunctional relationship. It could have been you, it could have been your friends, it could have been a relative, it could have been a colleague or somebody that you were cool with. And you saw the toxicity, the breakups, the back togetherness of it all. Them calling you for comfort and concern and crying to you about this toxic relationship and all this and all of that. You try to give them advice. You try to tell them to choose themselves and all this and all of that, that you don't like seeing them like this. But what ends up happening, you guys? They try to stick it out as long as possible to try to hope that it gets better, that something changes, that something improves. And what happens is, if you keep telling them, hey, you need to leave this ninja alone. You need to leave this ninja alone. I'm not seeing it. What's going to happen? They're going to stop talking to you. That friend is going to stop talking to you. That family member is going to stop talking to you. Yes, they want to vent to you about what is going down. But if they are not in the place yet to leave for good, they're going to continue to go back into and entertain their shenanigans. And that is what's happening with Melanie. As much as y'all want to go in on who is or who isn't a good friend in this villa, they live with Melanie and Sincere 24/7. I feel like on the girl side of things, it is more about they do not want Melanie to be eliminated or dumped from the show. is more than it is that they actually think that Melanie and Sincere are like this amazing couple. Because Anaya called it out, what was that, the first or second week, that they were the toxic couple that was going to keep doing this nonsense in the shenanigans. So I don't know why y'all are trying to form a hate train against her, Neil. When she told Melanie in the last episode she didn't think that Melanie should slept in that bed. Does Anaya always give good advice? No. But forgiving somebody for something doesn't mean you have to forget. She forgave KC for all of the horrible things he said about her, but she's never going to forget that humiliation. She's never going to forget that disrespect. You can forgive people and not forget what they've done. But ultimately, it was Anaya that said, I don't think you should sleep in that bed. And she ultimately said as well, if you are not effing with Sincere, then F him. But if you are going to continue to F with Sincere, then, you know what I'm saying? But that's how it goes in a toxic relationship. Is y'all complain, y'all cry, y'all have crash outs, y'all cuss people out, y'all want the comfort, y'all want them to lift, you know what I'm saying, you to lift them up and all this and all that, but if they're going to go back, what is the point? If they're going to go back, what is the point? But I just can't believe that Melanie is going to now push a campaign for Caleb and Melanie to be together, all because she is not happy with seeing how her sister is being treated on the show by Sincere. Caleb all of a sudden coming out to this and trying to hop on the train to try to get some clout, some brand deals off of potential him and Melanie being together is phony baloney. If he wanted Melanie, he was in that villa for 4 weeks. He was in that villa for 4 weeks and went after specifically Kenzie and specifically the Persian cat and specifically Jaden and Kata after things fell through with Kenzie. We never saw Caleb try to holler at Melanie. Yes, several of these islanders have friendships with the opposite sex that are outside of their couples in this villa, but I have never seen it so blatant this season where any conversation that these islanders are having with somebody of the opposite sex that's not their couple, y'all want to form crack ships about them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to form crack ships. And then it was the same thing that happened with the Anaya of it all, where it looked like Melanie's sister was trying to throw shade at Anaya. And then when she got called out about it, she tried to walk it back and was like, oh, I love Anaya, and the Islanders in general shouldn't be enabling this and doing that. Well, here's the thing. Here is the thing. This is how the show is set up. This is the system that is set up for the black and brown Islanders of this show. Is that they want you to be in certain couples with certain people. Let's talk about it, right? But they will give unlimited bombshells to other Islanders. But they expect you as a black or person of color Islander to remain in the struggle. Now, in the extreme circumstances where there's something that is too far gone, that is beyond repair and everything else, you know what I'm saying? They have no choice but to bring you a bombshell. You know what I'm saying? In the case of what happened with Justine, people were playing in Justine's face. She was in several couples before Caleb had got there. And those people, you know what I'm saying, were doing way too much. And I believe he got there a little bit before Casa Amor. And it was just a hot mess express the way several dudes kept playing in Justine's face to the point it was like a humiliation ritual. And it happens all the time to the black women on these shows, whether they're not picked first on these recouplings, even on the first day, or people are in friendship couples with them, hoping to hop on to the person that they're really interested in, that they're really feeling, but they use you to stay in the villa long enough because they know a lot of black women, a lot of the black vote is going to vote for the black women that are on this show. So they hop on that. And I can't believe some of y'all are following, you know, the nonsense that Caleb is doing. And y'all are going to make him the most followed male Islander and hype him up and make him seem like he's this good guy and he's this decent guy and all this and all that. Like, what are we doing? Y'all fall for the okie doke so easy. All these islanders have to do is hype up any of these viral crack ships that you guys have concocted in your brains on the tickety talk, and you guys are sold. You guys are sold. My problem with Caleb is you're switching up now because you're seeing which islanders are getting support and which ones are getting hate. And that's where I have no respect. You said basically your type is blondes and you're always into all the blondes. You specifically went after Kenzie, specifically went after Jaden, and went after Kada after Kenzie was a lost cause and everything else. Went after Persian Cat, but after that was a lost cause, went after Jaden. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we got to do better with this nonsense that is taking place to where you guys and the family getting involved with this. Listen, I understand you're not happy with how things are going for Mel in the villa, but I can't stress enough, Mel has the decision as well to end this with Sincere. She has the decision as well to end this with Sincere. And I think deep down, she does not want to end this with Sincere. She just more so wants to make it seem to the audience that she's not okay with this. But there's something about Sincere that Melanie likes that Melanie herself does not want to let go of. And there is no islander in that villa that can convince her either to stay with him or to break up with him. It is all on Mel, on what she wants to do. You know what I'm saying? There's something about Sincere that she likes. There was a reason why she did not want to choose all those Casa men, and she told Sincere immediately that she was sick of kissing those Casa men, that they were nothing like Sincere. So even with all the disrespect that has happened, and the playing in her face, telling Sol and Amora the same things that he has told to Melanie, she still likes that dude. She still wants that man. But for whatever reason, you guys have all the smoke for the other islanders and not the Melanie in the situation of it all that has seen movie night, that had the Casa men telling her to her face how Sincere was moving before Casa, and she still continues to choose Sincere. Now, I don't know if she could have told production, you know what I'm saying, with the recoupling, to just let her go home and allow Sincere to pick Amora instead, and she would be the dumped islander so she could just get out of there. But it sounded like to me she was happy that Sincere picked her. She was happy to still be in a couple with him. Now, we're going to see the aftermath today of both Corbin and Persian Cat, you know what I'm saying, coming for them as a couple and basically saying that he was really disappointed in Sincere and all of this and all of that. And if that's going to change Melanie's mind or not. But ultimately, I feel like we are heading down the wrong road with family members pushing crack ships while you have active islanders that are still in the villa, still trying to assess their connection and what it is and what it isn't going to be. And see, the other thing that you may run into is you may run into Melanie coming out and seeing all the hate about her and Sincere and wanting to make it work with him to prove the haters wrong. You know what I'm saying? To feel like people are pressuring her or forcing her to break up with somebody that she doesn't want to break up with. You have to let these people make their own decisions. Now, I'm not defending Sincere. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's not being held accountable. And I don't know if it's because of his looks. I don't know if he has people under a spell. I don't know what it is. But for whatever reason, he's not being held to the same standard that people held Casey to. And I don't get it. Because I feel like both should have the same level of smoke. But ultimately, I feel like, too, the difference is, ultimately, Anaya and Casey are done. They're done. Sincere and Melanie are not done. And she, you know what I'm saying? She has not said that she wants to be done with him. She keeps saying that she's torn. She made the decision, instead of having him sleep out in soul ties or whatever the case may be, she made the decision to get back in bed with him, even with the pillow in between them. She made the decision to accept his coupling at the last episode. She made the decision to deliberate with him on who they felt were the most incompatible couples and everything else. So when you have all of that going on, what do you want us to do? It is up to Melanie on what she wants to do. You know what I mean? It is up to Melanie, when it's all said and done, if she wants to continue to put up with Sincere's nonsense. And she's already stated on multiple occasions, if he's going to do this to her inside the villa, imagine what he's going to do to her outside of the villa with all of the groupies, all of the women that are probably in his DMs. You know what I'm saying? Saying that I could do you better than Melanie. Because it was weird to me that Sierra even said to Amora, oh yeah, y'all had way more sexual chemistry than him and Melanie. And it was like, y'all had more smoke for Melanie taking Sincere back, but both Soul and Amora, y'all not mad and Sincere. Y'all not upset with Sincere on how he did y'all. Make it make sense. So, nonetheless, that is it for this video. I need y'all to do me the biggest favor, and that is to hype the video. Hype the video, please. There's that. That is it. That is all. It's toast. It's final. It's finito. It's the end of the road. It's the end of the line for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post the content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.